Hello, everyone. You welcome to our first official tutorial. Though I will just be walking you through the basic step of building a desktop navbar. So this is what we're going to be building today. And trust me, it's going to be well explained and you get every bit of information that we're going to be using. Now, this is just a basic desktop navbar. It's not responsive, but it's just to give you the idea of how you can create a navbar with less than 10 or 15 lines of code. You get this beautiful boy up and running. So now, without wasting much of our time, let's get started. Now, this video is assuming that you already have a basic knowledge or understanding on HTML and CSS. It expects you know your stuffs like your padding, your margin, and your color. That is what is expected of you. Now, if you have not taken the HTML and CSS beginners crash course, it is advisable that you take the crash course, which I will drop the link in the description. You take the crash course for the HTML, the CSS, and a tutorial on a flex on the display element of Flexbox. So those are the prerequisites for this video. So before that, let's get started. Now, I have my Visual Studio Code started already, so I will just jump right into creating my files. So I only need my index.html and my CSS file. That is my style.css. Now I have these two up and running, so I just close this. Okay, so I'll split this up. Good. Now the next thing for me is to start writing my code. So I'll just bring in my this. I change the title to desktop navbar. So now let's break down the design. Now looking at this, we have to break down the design before we start writing our code so that we know what we are building. So firstly, looking at this, we have a navbar with a background color of red. That is obvious. And also we have a logo. This is the logo of the website, and we have the website link. So if I hover on this, you see that those are the website links. Now, how do we build this kind of thing? Now, it is very simple and straightforward. You have your navbar logo and your navbar link. All you just need to do is to place them side by side. How can we do that? We'll find out very soon. So now I just create a div and give it a class of navbar. Now I have my div with a class of navbar. Now looking that we have a navbar logo and a navbar link, so I just have to add my div.nav logo. So this will stand for the nav logo, and I have a p tag and call it coding. Now, after putting my nav logo, you might be asking, why am I putting my nav logo in a div? Now, it is advisable to always group your elements, in separate divs. So your navbar is on one div. Div simply means division. So you are dividing it into different smaller sections, which is a very good practice. So now I have my navbar logo. Now what next do I have to add? My navbar link. Now inside the navbar links, we are going to have, okay, before that, let's quickly look at what we have right now. You can open with live server. For those of you that don't have live server, simply copy the part of your index or HTML and open it in your browser. So now I have this. So we simply have our coding made simple, and we want to add our nav link. So I'm going to use the a tag. The a tag is the anchor tag. It's used for adding links to a web page. So let's see what we have. We have bootstrap. We got themes. Then we got blog. Now, for those of you that might be wondering, okay, this is used to add links, but how do we add our link? Where do we add our link? So here is the place where you add your link. But based on this tutorial, we're not linking to any actual website, so I'm just gonna leave it blank. So, but if you really want to link to, maybe you're creating something and you want to link to a external website, you can just do it like this by saying HTTPS. So this is the way you add it. But if you're linking to another page in your website, you just need to add the path to that page. For example, my about.html. So we're not going to go into that. In our subsequent videos, you're going to see how to do all this. So now that we have made our nav bar and nav link, you can see that they are under each other, unlike what we are trying to achieve. Now, let's start by adding a background color. But before that, we've not linked our CSS. How do we link it? So say CSS. So we're going to say the link. So once you click on the link, it's going to give you the link rel and the href. The href is where you put your style, the CSS. Now, once you add your style, the CSS, if I say body background red, good. So my CSS have been successfully linked. Now let's remove this. We are sure it's working and start writing our styling. The first thing I want to do is to remove all margin and padding from my document. Now I don't want any margin and padding, predefined margin and padding or non-element. So what it does is that, okay, let me quickly show you something. Now take a look at this. You can see that there are some margin and padding already there, but immediately I introduce this, it removes everything. So that is what I want. I don't want there to be defined margin and padding. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start styling .navbar. First thing I'm going to give it is the background color, which is red. So we've given the background color. Now, how do we make these two guys stay side by side? There's what we call flex. Flex is a CSS layout property. On my subsequent video, I'm still going to talk about flex, but I have dropped a link to the description where the Flexbox has been explained. So please go there and watch it out. So all we just need to do is to add a display of flex to this. And beautiful, they are side by side. But kindly note that this flex is only working because we grouped them in twos. So we group them in twos, so that's why it's working. If by any chance we did not group them in two different divs, it's not going to work the way we expect. So let's proceed. Now display first, justify content, space between. This justify content is going to move them space. It's going to add space in between them. Now let's add some padding to our HTML. Padding, I'm going to say padding left 80 px, padding right same px, then padding top, I'm going to make it 20 px, padding top 10 px, padding bottom, I mean. Okay, good. I think it's looking small, so I'll just quickly make some adjustment to that. Good. So this is way prettier. So now that we've gotten this, the next thing we need to do is to start styling our logo. So the thing I'll do is .navbar .nav logo. Now there's no need for me to reference the P because the P is under the nav logo, and that's the only thing under the nav logo. So once I just make it like this, it's gonna affect it. The color white, the font size, I'm going to increase it to 28 px. The font size is going to make it bigger. Okay, now it's bigger and my padding is way too much. So I just reduce the padding to 10 and this also to 10. So let's see. Good. So I think this is better. Now that my logo is 20, font weight. Now this is going to tell it how thick do I want it to be. It's does not come in px. It's from 100 to 900. Then you have bold, bolder, then you have lighter, normal. But most of the time you get to see people using this, and this is what I also use. So we've successfully done the nav bar. Now what next? We need to style the nav links. Now styling of nav links can be a little bit tricky if you don't pay more details to it. So now dot nav links. So you're gonna say, okay, since we did the nav logo like this, let's also do the nav link like this. We're gonna say color. We want to change the color to white, let's say. So nothing is happening. Why? It's because inside these nav links you have an a tag. You have an a tag. So in order for all these to change, you have to specify that you're styling the a tag, which is by putting it here. So once you put the a tag, now you say, okay, why am I not putting dots? Now in css, when you're styling tags, you don't make use of dots. You just make use of the tag name. For example, I want to style my div. Now I just say div. If I want to style my body, I just make use of body. Now you might be saying this simple navbar, but it's taking so long. Yeah, I'm trying to explain every bit and details because understanding the fundamentals is very important. So once I start moving forward to creating more complex stuff, I don't need to explain them anymore because you already understand why we are doing this and why we are doing that. So let's proceed. Now I'll put my I'll see text decoration, none. Now this text decoration is the guy responsible for styling of this your text. There are so many of them. We have dotted, oh, sorry, on the line. Okay, overline should be okay. Yeah, so we have many of them. So we have underline, overline, and many others like that. But for this, I don't want any text decoration. Then I'll change the color to white. Good. One more thing, the font size, I want it to be let's try 20 px. Okay, now we have font size 20 px. Margin, I want to add the margin left, right to be 10 px to add spacing in between these guys. Good. Now you can see that our navbar is taking shape. But one more thing, looking at this, these two guys, this guy and this guy, they are not at the center. You can see it, they are not at the center. So what do? Where we added our flex, all we just need to do is come here and say align items center. So this is going to make sure that the two of them are at the center, that is horizontally, yeah, on the center like this. So now you can see that both of them are at the center. Now we are done with our navbar. Just one more thing that is left, which is the background color that shows once we hover on it. So how do we do that? There's what we call the hover effect. The hover effect is whenever your mouse hover on something, a particular style which you've defined for it takes place. Now how do we do that? We say that, okay, we just copy this since we're adding it to the a tags. So we paste it now on hover. So for example, we want the text to change color, so we say once you hover, the color should be white, sorry, black. We have white already, so you can see it. So once I just hover, it changes the color to black. So let's add a kind of light, a dark background, and hover. So once we hover, I want the background color to be a little bit white. Good. So the background color changes to white and the text changes to black. Yes. So but it's looking weird, so I just make the background color black, then leave this guy. Now good. So I'm going to increase the padding. Now I'm gonna say padding top, let's make it 17 px, padding bottom 17 px. Good, good, good. So you can see our guy is taking the full size now and make it padding left and right. Make it 5 px is okay. Then padding right, 5 px to give it some breathing space. Good, good, good. So once we hover, no, padding left, turn. Okay, I think this is better. So once we hover, you see it that ah, let me remove this padding. Okay. Uh-huh. So all I just need to do is add my padding here. Padding. Sorry. It's here I meant to add the padding. That's why it's like that. So good. Once I add the padding here, padding left, make it 10 px. Padding right, make it 10 px. Good. So that's all for your basic Navbar. So you can just decide to play around with it. Now that you have the idea on how to create a basic Navbar, you can just go and play around with it, try out some other Navbars, get your hand used to creating any kind of Navbar. So this is just the basic building block of websites. Just your look at in how many lines of code. Yeah, I can also refactor this and write it to be less than, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I have to make sure that everything is very explanatory and clear. So see you guys on the next video, and don't forget to ask questions in the comment section. And if you also like this video, feel free to share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I promise you a lot and lot of useful tutorial like this will be dropping from today henceforth, so you don't want to miss any. And you want to click on the subscribe button, turn on the bell icon so that each time I drop a new video, you'll be the first to get an insight of that. And mind you, I have a Udemy tutorial which I'm going to give out for free to my most engaging follower. So if you want to go home with a good Udemy tutorial, not one but many, on different topics: JavaScript, HTML, CSS, PHP, Python, Django, Node.js, they are all going to be given to you for free. So how do you get that? You share the video, like, subscribe, and comment. So thank you. See you on the other side.